Hello everyone, I hope everybody's keeping well. So I asked a few people, including my editor, did they know their local TDs and county councillors? So I asked a good 8 people, including my editor, say 7 people, only 7 members of the public in my local village. And I asked them, did they know the local TD, did they know the local councillors? And I asked them also, did they vote? And all of them said yes, apart from my editor, obviously. So yes, so all of them said they do vote apart from editor. But yes, so this is basically what I'm going to say here, that people don't know who they're electing to Dáil and who they're voting for. Basically, they don't know. They just, as one of them said, they vote for the sake of voting, just to be seen to vote. Again, that's the good way of voting. You need to know who's going to help the county, who's going to do more for the county, who's going to give you more money in your back pocket, which is the party that's going to give you more money in your back pocket. What are they going to do for you? Are they going to fix the roads around you? Are they going to make sure that you have better healthcare? They're going to make sure there's more Gaudi on the beat around Cavan, take for example. And again, you need to know all this. You can't just go for the sake of voting for random person that you don't have a clue what they represent or what they do. And again, that's the thing. The politicians nowadays rely on people not to care, because again, the thing about society now, it's not any fault of anybody. It's that society just doesn't care anymore with social media and things like that. People are more worried about other things, worrying about the Instagram and things like that. They're not giving a fuck about politicians. But totally honest, they shouldn't give a fuck about them. But again, you have to know who you're voting in for your local area or your local TD, because again, they're there for a reason. You pay them for a reason to represent you, to represent the county, to make sure the county gets everything that they can get out of the government in Dublin. Same as the county council, you elect them for a reason to the local authority, because you pay your property tax, you pay your road tax to the local authorities, and you expect everything to be top quality, especially the roads around that. You expect them to be top quality, because you don't pay for the sake of paying. But again, you need to know this, and particularly young people. Again, I asked a few young people that are about 30, and they said they wouldn't vote. And they were like, my mother voted Fianna Fáil, and I voted Fianna Fáil, even though I didn't know who was voting for. That's what one of them said, which I didn't blame them, because I kind of knew one of them would say that. But they said I just didn't know who. I just voted for anybody, because again, as one of them did say, it makes no difference who you vote for, because all of them are just crooks anyway, which is a fair enough point. But he still votes anyway. So, but again, you need to know. Again, I asked them, did they know the local county councillors? All of them really said no. They don't really know them. When I said their names, a lot of them kind of said, yeah, that rings a bell, but I didn't know he was a county councillor. Again, this is the thing. But again, a lot of them did know when I mentioned TDs. There's 5 TDs, two Sinn Féin, 2 Fianna Fáil, and 1 Fianna Gael. And a lot of them didn't know the Fianna Fáil TDs. A few of them did know the Sinn Féin TDs. A good 4 of them, I would say, out of 8 knew the 2 Sinn Féin TDs. Obviously, because they probably did vote. I didn't ask them who they voted for, but again, they knew a few of them knew the Sinn Féin TDs. They didn't know any of the Fianna Fáil TDs. The ones I asked, they didn't know any of them. But when I mentioned their name, they heard them before, but they didn't know the word TD. And then obviously the majority of them, nearly all of them, knew the Minister for Justice, Minister for Community Rural Development, and the Department of Social Welfare, Minister Heather Humphreys. Everybody really knew her. Again, that's understandable. She's a minister. You understand the people, because she's never off the local radio station in this county. As I said to her once, do you ever get off the Northern Sound radio station? Because you might as well turn it into Heather Humphreys radio station. Because she's that off and on, which is in fairness, she's not afraid to talk to people and everything. But compared to Norma Foley, you wouldn't find her. You couldn't find Norma Foley anywhere. To ask questions. So at least Heather Humphreys puts herself out there to get questions. Compared to Norma Foley, which just runs away. But again, you need to, and again, this is the moral. So you need to know who you vote for. You need to know when the election comes in 2024. You need to look at the manifesto, or look whatever the person's saying. Like take for example, Matt Carthy, Sinn Féin. He probably will win in the next election. Take for example, say he promises the people in Cavan and Monaghan that he's going to do everything he can to make sure there be train lines in Cavan. And I'm not saying he will or anything like that, but I'm just take for hypothetically. Say he says, I'm going to get 5 trains going through Cavan, going up to Monaghan, and going to Dublin every morning. And he's going to put on, there's going to be extra staff, there's going to be more employment and everything that in the county because of it. And then, I work in Dublin, I rather actually use the train because it's more faster than my car, and I save a bit of money on petrol and things like that. And you'd be like, that's actually good. I give him a vote because it actually would benefit me. And it benefit the county, benefit my area. And then, you have to know who you're voting for. You have to know what they're voting for. Because, again, you can't just vote for the sake of voting. Because they have to give you something back for voting. The people have to give you something back. Because they're not just set there for the goodwill of the people. They're there to do a job. The same as everybody. You're there to do a job. You're there to make sure that everything that can be possibly given, every set of the public's purse, is put to good use. And is put to the benefit of the society in that area. And again, saying that, I'm just voting for the sake of voting is not a good excuse. You might as well stay at home at that stage. And again, you go through all the manifestos. You go through, if there are previous TD or county council, you go through them. And see, what did they promise? Take, for example, the promise to fix your man 3 miles away up the road. And they never fixed his road. They said they would fix his road if they got elected. They never did. So you'd be like, they're not that trustworthy because they never went back to him and said, they kind of left him there and said, when they were the one looking for votes, they said, we'll fix the road. And then when they got elected, they didn't do anything for him. And you'd be like, that's kind of a bit sneaky. I won't vote him in the next election. Again, you have to think about all this. You have to think about it. You can't just randomly turn up in the voting station and be like, I'm voting for this. Just because I like the look of them on it, on the ballot paper or whatever. But again, that's what we need to know as society. We need to kind of, understand politics. We can understand it. Again, Irish politics, understand it, understatement of the century. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, and understand who you elect into your local authorities and into your central authorities and government. You need to know who you're electing. You can't just elect any random person because, again, these people have automatic power. And 100,000 a year to be a TD. You can't just put in somebody that wants to witch themselves. You have to think about this because they're there for 4 years, the same as the county council. They're there for 4 years. So we'll see about that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you have to be mindful. You have to take interest, I suppose. So yeah, take care, everybody. Let me know what you think. Do you just vote for anybody randomly, or do you look into your politicians before election? Thank you.